LSU moved from 14th to 19th in the college football playoff rankings after falling to Alabama on the road. Meanwhile, Tulane moves up to 23rd after their win over East Carolina. It was a low-scoring affair, but no matter what, they are still undefeated in conference play. We're going to be bringing in Tulane wide receiver Jaquan Jackson in studio to break it all down.
Yeah, a win's a win. LSU wasn't able to get one. We're going to break all that down. So got a great show for you guys. Stick with us right after these ads. Are you ready to experience the magic of Mardi Gras in a whole new way? Welcome to UniqueNolaThrows.com, where they're reimagining the Mardi Gras throw tradition. At UniqueNolaThrows.com, they offer distinctive throws that serve not just as festive accessories, but as keepsakes to cherish beyond the Mardi Gras season. Their products are carefully curated to capture the Mardi Gras spirit in every detail, from light-up headbands that illuminate the night to vibrant scrunchies that add a pop of color to any ensemble. They're committed to keeping their throws affordable, making it easier for everyone to hold a piece of Mardi Gras magic in their hands. Because they believe that every throw counts, they want everyone to experience the joy of giving and receiving a unique and thoughtful throw. They invite you to join them in creating a new narrative for Mardi Gras. UniqueNolaThrows.com is a platform for everyone to express their love for Mardi Gras in a thoughtful manner. They're inspired by the happiness, the camaraderie, and the passion that Mardi Gras stirs in all of us. Visit Unique Nola Throws today to explore their fresh collection and find the perfect keepsakes for your next throw. What could be more thrilling than adding to the carnival atmosphere with items that will be cherished long after the parade? Together, let's redefine Mardi Gras, making each parade more memorable, sustainable, and exciting. UniqueNolaThrows.com, where every throw counts and the spirit of Mardi Gras is alive in each and every one of us. UniqueNolaThrows.com, where the essence of Mardi Gras lives on.
LSU went into Tuscaloosa and fell to 8th-ranked Alabama 42-28. Now, the Tigers did go into that game down a few starters on the defensive side of the ball. They exit Tuscaloosa with their quarterback Jayden Daniels in concussion protocol. And look, when you see that hit from Dallas Turner, who has had some questionable quarterback hits in his past. Look, it was helmet to helmet. No denying that. What did you see on the play?
That wasn't just it was targeting. It was definitely targeting. I was shocked I didn't review it. It seemed like the kind of hit you don't want in football. It seems like a textbook example of why these rules exist. Absolutely kind of crazy that happened. I was stunned that it wasn't a penalty. I mean, it's really, I'm not the guy that's like out there screaming about like officiating. I mean, that was really one of the more egregious examples of that though that I've seen, and I couldn't believe that it just kind of went on as a clean play, like because it clearly wasn't.
Textbook targeting. Guy ends up in concussion protocol. Looks like he's leaning toward coming back this week. He did go through a workout at the beginning of the week. We'll see if he practices later on today. But when you have a guy like Dallas Turner who has on tape these nasty hits in his arsenal, as a ref, how are you not being mindful of that? And even when you see it, look, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it was in Tuscaloosa, yet the refs aren't being paid by Alabama as much as people want to say that. That's just not the case. I don't understand how you don't review that play.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous, and it was just clear too. Like,
very clear.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't something that was like on the edge. It was just like, wow, this is really like, you can do this. No, you can't. Like, you're not supposed to be able to. So I don't know how it happens. I mean, it's one of those things that probably after the fact, they're going to tell the officials like, hey, you messed us up, but that doesn't fix kind of what happened. So those are the kind of plays that need to be caught in the moment. There's way too many flags, I think, in games in general, but like, make sure you flag the plays that should very obviously clearly be flagged. I
agree. Look, we're going to get into Jayden Daniels' dominant performance before he exited the game, but real quickly, what are you hearing about Jayden Daniels from NFL scouts as the draft is slowly approaching? Now we're in November.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating because there's a lot of opinions on him, and I've heard from people who think he could be a late first-round pick, and I've heard from people who think fourth round. And there's just kind of like a dependency on how many quarterbacks are going to declare for the draft. I think that changes the numbers a little bit. But I mean, I've heard people kind of say that he has like a little bit of Lamar to him, but that doesn't have the arm strength, but like the way he throws the ball, like he has better accuracy than Lamar. Yeah. He's as elusive as Lamar. He sees the field a little bit better than Lamar too, but Lamar has like the cannon for an arm. Jayden doesn't quite have that, but I think his skills are really good. I think his draft stock is one that's going to continue to rise too. I think coming into the season, he wasn't necessarily like on the radars, and those people those are the guys that like it comes draft season and everyone's like, oh, he's climbing up draft boards. And it's like, no, like everybody just talking about the draft is just starting to get caught up with what actually happened. So I think he's going to be one of those guys. I think the people that are saying 4th round now are probably going to be saying 2nd by the time the draft comes around. So I think that's probably going to be the range that he's in.
And
2nd, 3rd.
You could talk about arm strength, but the one thing Jayden Daniels has that not a lot of quarterbacks have heading into this year's draft, he's a playmaker. And that's something that's just undeniable. He has been able to make Malik Nabers the standout wide receiver, and credit to Malik Nabers. He's also made some pretty great plays, but Jayden Daniels is a guy who has made the wide receivers and tight ends around him look really good based on the plays that he has been able to make. Now look, before Jayden Daniels exited the game in the 4th quarter, he had 382 total yards and 3 touchdowns. But look, before Jayden Daniels exited this game, it seemed like LSU was not going to be able to knock down Alabama because their quarterback was everywhere. He rushed for 4 touchdowns, 155 rushing yards, plus he threw for 219 yards. This secondary, yes, they had guys out, but it looked pretty bad.
Well, hold on the last thing real quick. Just some more things like people are saying. Like I've heard Nabers compared to Stephon Diggs by scouts, and people think that he has that kind of ability. He's a little bit smaller, so like he might, his draft stock's going to be maybe, I don't know if you're looking for like the bigger body guy, you might not go to him, but someone's going to take him early. And then Brian Thomas, people consider him to be like one of the better downfield accelerators in college football. So, I mean, there's a lot of rising tides around there. The defensive tackle's starting to get a little bit of hype too. So there's some guys on this team that are going to have, some draft attention. As far as the depth in the secondary for LSU, I mean, I think it's just the impact of the transfer portal is being seen across college football. It used to be that like Ohio State, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, like all these teams, you had your starters and then you had a whole nother starting team on the bench because you recruited that well. Guys got into your program, couldn't kind of go anywhere. That's how you get programs with, that are 3 quarterbacks deep. And that's just not the case anymore, though. Guys go to these schools, they aren't getting the opportunity to play. They're transferring out and they're playing somewhere else. So now when you have injuries, like you just don't have the same ability to kind of plug the holes that you had before. And I think that's just kind of what college football is now.
Yeah, you talk about just teams not really being able to develop players anymore. This is a question we're going to ask T-Bob as well, but does Matt House, LSU's defensive coordinator, keep his job next year? Like, is anything salvageable? Like, yes, it is challenging with this new era of the transfer portal and not being able to develop players, but I don't think we've seen an LSU defense that's been this bad in quite some time.
Yeah, I just read a story. I was trying to figure out who it was by, and I can't think of it right now, but they wrote like a article about how she get a second year. And I mean, there were some compelling thoughts in there. I don't know. I think it's tough. Like, I think if you underachieve like this, look, one thing is I don't think they have the players though. Like it's tough. Like I don't care who the coach is. Like when there's no ability to tackle or cover or do these things, like it's really hard to be successful. But I also think they're doing some dumb things too that we've seen throughout the year. We've talked about it every week on here. Just kind of even T-Bob talked about how they were lining up on the defensive line, like off the line of scrimmage. So there's things here that I think warrant a change in direction. I would be surprised if you bring him back because also college football is just really cutthroat. And Brian Kelly's at a program that expects to be competing for national titles. And if this isn't the guy to get you there, I think you make the move and you get better. And it has to be a little bit ruthless. Like the job is a job. If you don't do the job, someone else will. And I don't know that he's getting the job done well enough. So I don't know that I'm necessarily calling for anyone's job, but I think there would be logic in moving on to somebody else.
You kind of highlighted Malik Nabers and his draft status being elevated this season. That's credit to Jayden Daniels and Malik Nabers' connection that they have built over the years at LSU, and it is paying off in dividends. In 9 games played, he has 10 touchdowns. He's averaging 128 receiving yards per game. I mean, that's pretty great. He's also made some incredible catches. You talked about maybe where he could land a little bit. If you had to put a number on it, what round does he go?
Oh, I think he's a first rounder for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's people talking about him like top 15 right now. I mean, he's that guy. He's that talented. So I think if you need you want an explosive playmaker, and again, like there's a lot of teams that are going towards like bigger guys at those positions now. So he might get pushed down a little bit, but I think he's an absolute first rounder for sure. All
right, LSU has 3 games left. They got Florida at home at night this Saturday. That is going to be a game. If you can get tickets, try and get tickets. It's unlike anything that I've ever experienced. Florida at LSU at night. It's going to be a great game. Hopefully it doesn't get too chippy in warm-ups as we've seen before. Then they've got Georgia State, and they close it out the regular season with Texas A&M. Now look, they still have a chance to keep climbing the rankings, but SEC West, SEC Championship, that is out of the picture with losses to Alabama and Ole Miss. If LSU closes out the regular season with 3 wins, what does this mean for Brian Kelly moving forward, as well as the LSU football program? We're going to be breaking it all down with T-Bob. Welcoming T-Bob Hebert back into the show. You can listen to him on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge and, of course, on Snaps podcast. All right, T-Bob, you've had a few days to let this loss kind of marinate. This LSU loss to Alabama on the road. What stands out for you about the way LSU played this game?
Well, I mean, what stands out is the defense, obviously, right? Like Jayden was fantastic. Malik Nabers, with his quarterback only playing 3 quarters, puts up 10 catches, 171, a touchdown, probably gets the best secondary in the entire country. But as I've said all week, and as we talked about, this is a game that was going to put the old sports cliche to the test. Are you only as strong as your weakest link? Because LSU obviously had the stronger strong link, but they obviously had the much weaker weak link. And, well, lo and behold, a lot of times cliches are such because they're rooted in some good homespun wisdom, right? And so you end up breaking because your defense is awful. What I do find to be a bit inexplicable still, though, is the defensive game plan that Matt House and company chose to employ, where they really, like, if you're putting your thumb on the scale for, do we want Jalen Milroe to beat us with his legs or with his arms? Like, I know this LSU team has personnel issues in the secondary, but I think they went way too far with it. I mean, if you just look at their third down plays, of which LSU gave up 11 of 14, and that's without, I mean, there was a stretch. It's 28-21 LSU winning, 9 minutes left in the third quarter. You didn't even force another third down until 9 minutes left in the fourth, and it's all of a sudden 42-28. And that stretch is bookended by 7 consecutive third down conversions. And yet, on third down, you ran 1 QB spy. And it was the first one of the game. And then, so it's shocking to me that LSU seemed to employ a game plan that would have been more well-suited to stopping a Mac Jones or a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady than a Jalen Milroe. I mean, Milroe was out there feasting like me at a Chinese buffet, and he was winning against the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was borderline dark humor when at his Monday press conference, Brian Kelly was asked what he do differently in retrospect. He's, I think we would have used a spy more. It's like, you have Harold Perkins. What are you doing? So again, the defense was disappointing like we knew it would be, but it did still find ways to shock me in terms of the depths of its disappointment.
Well, at least you got cleared to drink again before the game. So I mean, that was good. That was good for you. Right?
Doctor's orders, which that alone is a sign of how awful I was feeling for 2.5 weeks, is I have never actually asked a doctor if I could drink on these antibiotics. I've never cared. Like, that's how badly I wanted to feel better. We're finally starting to feel better, boys. I mean, we are coming back. F Alabama. Look, here's the deal. The Alabama game brought a clarity with it. And this may be something that Saints fans can appreciate because they're currently going through this in spades. But there's a certain distinct torture and the kind of purgatorial, like, are we good or are we not, right? Or how good are you, right? And because this LSU offense, and we'll get into it because I want to get into some numbers, because this LSU offense is otherworldly good, you were teasing yourself. Could this be a championship team? Could you maybe find your way to Atlanta on a good day, get lucky, and upset Georgia? And now there is a very distinct clarity after this Alabama game where, look, you have played 2 truly playoff caliber teams in Florida State and Alabama, and they played out the exact same way. I mean, the exact same way. Offense kept you in it until they couldn't. 1 or 2 seemingly, shouldn't be that big of a deal mistakes. And then all of a sudden, the defense collapses and you're down by 2 scores. It's just so clear to me you're a good team. You're not a great team. And so, yeah, now the goal is try to go 9-3 in the regular season and see what happens in the bowl game. So there is a certain amount of peace brought through a loss such as this, as you very clearly know what the ceiling is now on this LSU team.
Before we shift into some of the good, you just kind of touch on it, just about like how it was maybe kind of like malpractice a little bit, how they approach defense. Do you keep the DC around for another year? Is this the end of the road? Like, how are you evaluating that? With just 3 games left.
It's tough to say. I have no animus towards Matt House, and I really hate these conversations because it's impossible for me not to empathize with their families, right? With these kids who have to pick up and move, and then 2 years later they got to move, and it's a public job. And so when you're failing on such a public level that like your kids are here and at school, you're going to the grocery store, you're here, and it's brutal. And this is all such a like. This is a preface for my own conscience because you already know there's a butt coming. Like you can feel the butt coming. And but it is coaching. And that comes with the territory. And Matt House is one of 5 defensive coordinators that makes $2 million a year right now. And it's okay to be bad given the personnel that you have. It's not okay to be this bad. It's not okay to have a front 7 that features Mason Smith and Harold Perkins and yet feels feckless. It's not okay to be 112th in stop rate in the entire country this late in the season, 58th out of the 65 Power 5 teams. And so, no, I think objectively, he probably should be let go. And let's be clear, after an awful special teams, inexcusable special teams last year, Brian Kelly fired his hand to the king, his right-hand man, the first person who followed him from Notre Dame in Brian Polian. So, we've seen it do it before, but ultimately that'll be Kelly's decision. And Kelly has the benefit of that 10-year deal where you are married no matter what. And so because of that, if he really believes in Matt House, he can eat the bad press. It's not like he has to. So when he makes that choice, he will be making the choice that he truly believes is best. But, do you risk going down a Lincoln Riley, Alex Grinch thing? If it doesn't work out again, this all remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, for $2 million, it's just not good enough. And look, every job comes like with this job, I hear every day how stupid I am, how unfunny I am, what a clown I am, what an awful take, blah, blah, blah. But again, that just comes with the territory. It just is what it is. You want to do this, you got to accept that. You want to coach, you got to accept that if you're going to get a lot of money, but if you fail on a public level, it's going to be very tough for you and your family emotionally. And they get that. So we'll see where the season ends, but I imagine he's probably gone.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't see a world where Matt House is still the defensive coordinator next year, but we'll see what happens. And you make a good point that Brian Kelly is signed that 10-year. So it's not going to be something that kicks him out if he keeps him or doesn't. What were your thoughts on the Jayden Daniels hit? And what are you hearing this week as far as if Jayden Daniels will be up and out of concussion protocol for the Florida game Saturday?
It seems like it's trending great. Daniels did all this like mental meeting work. He ran yesterday, and we're recording this on Thursday. He ran 2 days ago, on Tuesday, got up to 20 miles an hour. When Kelly was on the SEC teleconference yesterday, he said the plan was for Daniels to do non-contact practice on Wednesday and then hopefully be cleared for contact practice today. We'll get confirmation of if that happened after the practice today when Kelly meets with the media. But me just offering a reading between the tea leaves opinion, I haven't, there's no inside info or anything. I think it's trending towards him playing, which is great because as we can talk about, this LSU team probably will give up a lot of points to Florida. Now, if you have Daniels, Florida's defense is bad too, and like LSU and Daniels will smoke them. It becomes way more hairy if all of a sudden you're talking about Garrett Nussmeier having to go win you this game. So I feel good about Daniels. And as far as the hit goes, man, I don't know. Look, I've said it plenty this week. I think it's football. I think a hit can be illegal, but not dirty. And if you want to have a conversation about is it, should have been targeting or whatnot, sure, that's a debate that you can have. I don't really care to have it. But in terms of is it dirty, look, man, I don't know many defenders that are great that when you get a chance to kill shot somebody, you don't like take it, right? Like, again, it wasn't an overly dirty hit. He didn't go for the knees. You can say that he led with the crown. There's a little bit of debate there. I mean, I thought his face was up. Did he land on him? Yeah, but there's no rule in college like the NFL that you can't land on him. So, like, I don't know, man. I just, but whatever. I was dirty as fuck. I loved, like, punching people after the plays, going after needs. Like, so I'm not the best person to ask, but like,
that sounds
again,
like the NOF team back in our day.
I feel old answering this because to me, it's football. Like, like what great defender has ever been like, I should hit this guy a little more responsibly.
Like Devin White wasn't pulling any punches. Let's be clear
nobody,
on that.
Dude, right. I wish Harold Perkins would have caught Jalen Milroe under the jaw like that. LSU fans would be celebrating if he'd done the same thing.
I don't know if I watched too much NFL because like that play looked outrageous to me. Like it was like, oh my God, like, you're actually going to allow this to go.
To be clear, Nick,
it's different.
It is outrageous from an NFL level because you have years of them making defenders think, oh my God, I have to hit this guy responsibly. That doesn't exist in college.
Yeah.
And so if you want to change the rules, change the rules. But like, am I going to fault a guy for hitting somebody? I mean, they reviewed it and said it was in the rules. You can agree or disagree, but technically it's within. They're like, he got a penalty. I don't know. I didn't think it was overly dirty, but whatever. I hate that Alabama fans are now using my answer as some sort of like trumpet of like, see, look, even this guy agrees with us. But that's my take on it.
So, all right, you mentioned that you wanted to get into the offensive numbers. Let's hear them. What do you got?
Well, look, here in turkey season, I talked about it on my morning show today. I just, I want to give thanks, right? Because this is college football. These guys don't sign long-term deals. You get 3 more games probably to watch Malik Nabers and Jayden Daniels operate. And understand right now, Malik Nabers, you have somebody who's leading the country with 128 yards per game, 1,152 yards. If you could do that pace in the NFL, you'd end up with 2,000 yards in the year. 10 touchdowns. He's just been incredible. And this was all kicked off by somebody just linking me a Malik Nabers highlight video this morning. How about this? Think about all the great LSU receivers, right? Whether it's Odell, Jarvis, Reuben, Terrence, Dwayne Bowe, Buster Davis, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I know I'm missing guys in here. The list goes on and on. He became the first receiver since Josh Reed to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. None of those other guys ever did at LSU. So appreciate what you have, Malik Nabers. Enjoy watching the next couple of days. And then you think about Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels is leading the nation right now in passer rating, which is essentially an efficiency rating, right? And he's leading by a wide margin. He's at 199. J.J. McCarthy's at 188. There's only 2 other quarterbacks in the country that break the 180 threshold. Jayden Daniels at 11 yards per attempt, 11.3. Second place, again, is J.J. McCarthy at 10.4. Only 2 other quarterbacks break the 10-yard threshold. So the point of all of this is these are all efficiency numbers. And all these other guys are very efficient, but none of them even sniffs Jayden Daniels' volume. So Jayden Daniels is leading the country pass rating and yet still has more total offense by 30 yards than does Michael Penix. 400 yards of total offense a game. 33 touchdowns accounted for, second in the country to Caleb Williams. So appreciate what you have over these final 3 weeks if you get to watch Jayden Daniels play. Because look, I know you just had it in Joe Burrow, but the history would dictate that you will all probably die before you see quarterback play at this level ever again. And it's just unbelievable to me that you could have someone playing so well. And you look at Florida. This is a team that allows the second highest passer rating in the SEC this year. Spencer Rattler went for 314 and 4 touchdowns. Carson Beck went for 315 and 2. KJ Jefferson 250 and 2. And none of these guys can hold Jayden Daniels' jock. So appreciate watching Jayden Daniels in Death Valley this Saturday night.
So I had a scout make a comparison to Lamar Jackson for him. Said more accurate, weaker arm. You buying or selling?
I'm buying. Look, man. So remember when Joe Burrow being number 1 overall, those conversations started to crop up and it felt ridiculous because what you knew about Joe Burrow up to that point, he had somebody who has ridden the bench. Was not that good in his first year starting. He was very pedestrian. But what did Joe Burrow do? He put in the work, and through the work, he got incredible. Well, my favorite part of Jayden Daniels' rise are all the articles and everything that talks about his schedule and his work ethic. And if you're talking about making it in the NFL, work ethic is as important as anything else, the intangibles. And I believe that Jayden Daniels has those. Like, I don't think it should be shocking. I think he still has a 2nd-round grade in most places here. I would not be shocked at all if Jayden Daniels makes himself into a 1st-round pick by the end of this process, because this is a man who spent his entire offseason getting in the building at 5 a.m., watching film before everybody, not leaving till 8. Like, this is a man who last year they were cutting the field in half and like just giving him high-low reads. And now he's reading the entire field. He's going to do all his progressions. He's having success over the middle against man, against zone. Like, he took every area in which we were like, we need you to improve, and he did it. And I think it's a very exciting sign for NFL scouts. Now it's going to be Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is
right.
I was looking this up today, like winning percentage, regular. I know he's got to win in the playoffs, but Pat Mahomes wins 80% of his games. Lamar Jackson wins 71%, right? Only Brock Purdy is better. And actually, there's one other quarterback that's better than Lamar Jackson other than Pat Mahomes. Do you know who it is? You know who it is? Quarterback that would be?
You got
Jalen Hurts?
Oh, Taysom Hill.
Oh.
7-2 as a starting quarterback. Yeah, 77% win percentage. Let's go. So no, look, I don't know if he's going to be like that, but certainly, like, look, Caleb Williams' comp is Pat Mahomes. Jayden Daniels' comp should be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, there's a line on literally every scouting report where they got to do like a player comp. So I mean, I don't really know where else you're going to go with it, but yeah, it's interesting. Like, it started out like people were saying like 3-4, and then you were hearing 2-3, and now it's like maybe late first, depending on how many people declare. Like, and
I know
we were just saying before you came on, like, I think he's going to be someone that he's going to be one of those guys where all like the draft gurus are like, wait, he's rising, and it's like, no, you're just catching up. Like that's how the conversation goes every year.
He's going to be special no matter where he goes.
I would think that feels accurate because, again, what does he not do? Like last year, you would have said he's not explosive through the air. He's not willing to take shots downfield. He doesn't throw a great deep ball. Well, he's thrown a ton of great deep balls this year. He's thrown with anticipation with guys breaking behind zone coverage, something I never saw him do last season. He's going through all of his progressions, recognizing coverages, where the soft spots are going to be. And then at the end of the day, he's fast as fuck. Like, he can run so fast, and he's tough, and he can move. So, like, what are we like? I don't know exactly where the big knock would be. Like, if you compare him to like a Drake May or something, like May's awesome. He's giant, rocket arm, very athletic, but he makes a lot of mistakes, right? Caleb Williams, very explosive, very dynamic, and will be the first to pick or whatever, I would imagine. But, like, you know, somebody who's not perfect either. Like, his PFF grade actually isn't even that high this year because they accuse him of like holding on to the ball too long and not taking what the defense is giving him and always trying to create big plays. I mean, a negative play. So, like, yeah, I think I was not a believer in his NFL prospects before this year. I am now.
Yeah, he's special. Look, T-Bob, they've got 3 games left in the regular season. If they win out from this point on, how would you sum up this season? Look, SEC championship's out of the picture. SEC West is out of the picture. But if they can put together 3 wins, look, you got Florida at home for a night game, Georgia State, kind of a layup, and then Texas A&M. How would you put a bow on this season if they win all 3?
I think they have to win these 3 games. Look, the bottom line is, I think when you're at a program like LSU, 9-3 is the baseline where rational fans should say, okay, you know, am I disappointed about something? Certainly. You had a championship offense, and even inexplicably bad, but okay, we can handle this. And that gives you a chance to get the 10 wins of the bowl game. Then that becomes a bit weirder because I don't think the guys play in the bowl game anymore, even if it is like a New Year's 6 game against Tulane, which could potentially be coming down the pipeline. But also, like, 6-2 in the SEC is always really good. And I know that the Florida State game hurts in this case a little extra, but like 6-2 is also really good in this conference. So no, like LSU is right on the dividing line between, okay, success or no, this is a bad year. If you drop any one of these 3 games, it goes to a bad season. So that's what's on the line for LSU to finish out here.
All right, we'll let you go on this. I got some messages about you from Alabama fans, just about my guy that was talking shit. I need to know how much shit you had to eat this week for your various rants on the Alabama program.
Yeah, look, these Alabama fans don't get it. I don't fucking care. I'm going to do it again. All I do is ignore my phone for a couple of days, and then next year, I'm like that dumb, goofy meme. I'm going to fucking do it again. I'm going to find another angle to piss you all off and to get under your skin, and I'm going to talk my shit all over again. So guess what? It ain't going to stop. It's never going to stop. I'm going to keep coming and you know what bugs them the most is that they still know that I'm right. Yeah. They still know that I'm right. They're going to lose to Kirby in Georgia. They're going to not win a national championship for the first time in 3 years in the Nick Saban era, and they're going to have to accept that they are an empire in decline. Like, Alabama fans, are you really victory lapping beating a 6-3 football team that lost to Ole Miss? Like, I thought you judged yourself by championships. How far the mighty have fallen. We won at home against a 6-3 football team that's ranked like 20th. Congrats, guys. I don't know. Like, what do you want to throw a fucking parade? Thought you measured yourself in rings. Grow the hell up. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
All right. Well, that's T-Bob. Thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
See you,
Y'all have a
T-Bob.
great day. I'm sorry we're going to get such a cursing spree at the end.
Hey, it's
Y'all
all
have a great
good.
day. We love you. We will see you next week.
It was a low-scoring affair at ECU. Tulane escapes East Carolina with a 13-10 win. The defense came to play outside of the Pirates' first 2 scoring drives. After that, Tulane allowed just 47 yards the rest of the night. I mean, that is just challenging to do, especially in conference play. Credit to the defense, but where was the offense the rest of the way?
Yeah, I mean, look, the defense really did their thing, but yeah, you got to score points to win, and 13 points isn't enough. So I think if Tulane wants to be the team they want to be, you just got to keep trending toward that. Sometimes you got to win ugly games. We've seen them be good, so I don't think it's a huge concern. So step up and you do what you got to do to win one. But yeah, you'd like a little more style points and maybe a few more actual points as well. But you know, they've had a good season. They're going to probably bounce back next week. I don't think it's really anything to be worried about.
Yeah, but there was some missed opportunities. Tulane controlled time of possession, 38 minutes, 368 yards, only 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. I mean, it was another big day for Mekhi Hughes, who had 106 rushing yards, but if they want to keep this rolling and reach their goal of winning another conference championship, they're going to have to get the offense working, which is going to start with our guy, wide receiver Jaquan Jackson, who's coming into the studio now. Jaquan Jackson is back in studio, senior wide receiver at Tulane. Congratulations are in order. You got invited to the East-West Shrine Bowl, and what a better way to find out than your dad surprising you and hand-delivering the invite. Did you have any idea he was on campus?
Nah. Thank you for having me, and man, it's truly a blessing to get that invite from the East-West Shrine Bowl. Just going through it. I know the night before they were still in Greenville because they went to the ECU game.
Okay.
And then I talked to him that morning, and he said he made it back home, but I didn't think that he was coming that morning because I knew he had to work at Homer. And just it's crazy because Coach Fish came in, did the team meeting and all of that, and presented Michael with it. And then before he said the next person, Dante Fleming had said Jaquan Jackson, and I know he was just talking. And then next thing you know, Coach didn't say the name. Only thing I see is my twin, my lookalike, just come around the corner, just smiling down. And I'm like, I was about to cry. And I'm like, man, it's crazy, man. Like, somebody could have told me. Everybody in the whole staff knew, like, it's a surprise. But it's truly a blessing just to have my pops, like, bring that to me and like, give it to me, like, coming in and just showing me, you know, wish moms could have been there, but, you know, she was working. But at the end of the day, man, it's truly a blessing. We'll never got it without the guys and the hard work with them all year from my freshman year to now, and the coaches, and I really appreciate the staff because, you know, when you win a lot, you get a lot of success. When you lose, sometimes it don't get too well for the team and players.
What did it mean just to be recognized too? And Jim Nagy wasn't on campus. Maybe a Senior Bowl invite is next too. Is that something you're looking forward to?
Most definitely. Always an opportunity to get the different bowls, you know, and let you get the option to go which one you want to. But at the end of the day, you know, truly it's a blessing. You know, not too many people get the opportunity to travel the world and get the opportunity to go play with other collegiate players, next level players to get that opportunity. You know.
What would you want NFL teams to find out about you? Like, who are you? Like, what do you want them to see at these opportunities you have?
Really just a great leader. Comes to work hard each and every day. A gym rat. I'm always trying to get better and learn how to do things. And a great punt returner and wide receiver. You know, we always got room to get improvement, but you know, going to the next level, everybody ain't perfect in the world. We all human. So go out there and make plays when it comes to you, and that's really it.
You said punt returner, wide receiver. Punt returner came first. Are you the type of guy that embraces special teams? That if that's the path into the league, like you would fully be like, all right, this is what I'm going to do, and that's the most important thing?
Always just growing up, but special teams always was the key, you know. Special teams win games, just like offense and defense, you know. Special teams probably don't get the much praise as offense and defense because, you know, you're making plays, but you're not scoring touchdowns and, you know, getting interceptions on that type of unit and stuff, but you can get a fumble recovery. But, you know, just as I got in college, I really started to understand, like, the fundamentals of, like, offensive side to, like, special teams, kick return, punt return, punt, and PBR, you know, like, really knowing how to this block, to this coverage. We got flyers over to that, like the understanding and how to you left shoulder and right shoulder leverage to this kickoff team to opposing kickoff return. Just understanding that. So like the one thing about this year is like I really like how Coach McMahon get in depth, about every special team, because I sit in every one, no matter, even though I'm just on PBR, I sit in punt, kickoff return, and PBR. So like you never know next level whenever. Just me being a coach, just to educate myself so I can teach others, because he's been in the game for like 20 years. He's been at collegiate level, he's been in the NFL, he's been in college. He won a natty at LSU, 15-0, and a championship at not championship, a Super Bowl with the Saints. So you always can soak in and just be a sponge, because you never know who you can teach and learn from the future.
All right, let's get into this win over East Carolina. Why was the game so close? Did you guys expect it to kind of be a low-scoring affair?
Nah, we didn't. Just in a mindset going into that game, it was going to be a great game. It was going to be a tough game like each and every week. We got a target on our back, But, we was in there just trying to focus on just doing what we do what we can do, and just play our game of football. It kind of slipped away, There's a lot of plays that we had there that we didn't execute on, but, it's a game of football. You just got to go back and just make the plays when they need to be made, because you never know what play you really need in a part of the game when you're playing football, because any play could get ugly, Some plays are great, some plays are bad, but at the end of the day, just going back over that game, we watched the film, I think we fixed all the mistakes that were happening in the game, and just the stuff that didn't work, just changed it up and just heading on to this week.
Yeah, and in the last 2 weeks, it's really been the offense bailing out the defense, but the roles kind of flipped. This past weekend, defense was bailing you guys out after the 2 scoring drives. They only allowed 47 yards the rest of the game, which is just hard to do at any level. What did you guys feed off of the defense when they're playing that well?
Since I've been at Tulane, we always did feed off the defense, and then they do the opposites when we going like down the field and scoring. They feed off of us. But shout out to Coach Wood and his staff on defense and the guys who playing over there and the leaders on that defense and the D line, and from all the positions on the defense. Like they work so hard, and they each and every week, Monday through Friday, they grind. Like I go by the scripture, Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpen iron. Like we've been saying that all summer, and I think that's the reason why on offense we good, and the reason why we good on defense, because each and every day we came with that mindset just to work. Like nobody can outwork us, and it's instilled in our brain that like no matter what we do, we got to go out there and just play Tulane football. Like nobody can stop us. And when we play other teams, we don't worry about other teams. We worry about ourselves. Like we try to focus on us, because if we're not doing the right thing, why should we worry about somebody else?
What is Tulane football?
Just like I said, man, just going 1-0 and just going out there and do the main thing, just going to play football. That's games. You could dictate somebody's record could be bad, but at the end of the day, the record don't show really what team's all about. Just as you seen last week, ECU played a great game against us. The defense was balling and came out there with a great game plan. We just didn't execute. But just going in, that's what I learned. Just like the 2 intense seasons that we had, it wasn't that we wasn't bad. It's just that we had a lot of new guys and a lot of new pieces we had to put together. And since that time, 2 years passed, we won a championship last year. We built it all together in the brotherhood. And, that's what we're still doing this year, 1 week at a time,
I'm sure you guys would love to score 50 points from win by 45 or whatever. But like when you do win by 3, the margin of victory is like that. Can that be solidifying for a team, just to kind of go through that and know that you can stand tall when things are tough and find a way to win?
Yeah, we really don't look at the scoreboard and see how much is just how Coach Fritz say a win is a win. Just be happy that we got it, even if it's ugly or pretty. But in the conference that we play, the American Conference, it's gonna be close games. Since I've been there, been close. Like it's crazy. Like as soon as I got in the conference, every game that we played, just last year overtime against Houston, we had another game that was close against UCF. This past year, we had few games, just close against Rice. So, just they on scholarship like we on scholarship. They out there trying to play football and feed their family just like us, and the coaches out there getting the same check that the other coaches getting. Just so the best team wins.
Kind of based off what he was just asking. Of course, you want to score as many points as possible. Yes, you still get a win, 13-10, but you guys also involved 7 different players in the passing game. Is it easy to share reps as a senior for you?
Oh yeah, that's the one thing about me. I'm a team guy. Wherever you need me and put me, I'm willing to do it. And that's what the part about like playing football. You can't just be always just throw it to this person, throw it to this person, throw it to this person. Some teams play bracket covers to this guy, and then you got mano on this guy, so he got to win this one-on-one battle. And that's the one thing I like about our offense, to spread the ball around from different positions and different players each and every week, so new teams get to see different things. It can't be like, oh, Quan lined up this week, he about to get the ball just like last week, and this. No, it don't work like that. But it just, as I said, they watch film just like us.
Yep. You guys are back home this weekend. What have you kind of seen from Tulsa and some early expectations?
They run a lot of things on defense, cover 2, cover 3, bracket, 4. Corner's good. They're tall and long, 6'3", 6'4". They can move, they fast, they play. Every team that we watch that they played against, like, they're right there. So we just got to make a play, like they're long. We can use our speed, but we just got to go make plays, because, we can have speed, but guess what? The lane could get them back down the field to catch up with us, and they're going to make the catches hard.
And just what would another conference championship mean for the program, you think?
It means a lot, back-to-back. Hey, it's amazing when you're going back-to-back, just as I said, just the recruiting for New Orleans, Uptown, for the program, for us, for the coaches, it's always a good look, just bringing back to what Tulane used to be in the past when, they were winning SECs back-to-back. I think they won 3 SECs, but it's great what we're doing at Tulane. It's amazing. Who would have known that Tulane would have been turned around with Coach Fritz running the program with a great coaching staff and great staffs, from the equipment to the academics all over. But I really enjoyed it, my time being at Tulane, and I don't want to go, but someday you got to let things go. But I really like Coach Willie Fritz, the way he do his things and how he treat the coaches the same way he treat players. Like, if he put something down, like, be disciplined. You got to go by this. This is how I want it. This is how I want you to run it, And that's one thing. He hands-on with everything. He jumps in and out of different meetings each and every week. You never know when he coming, so then he'll quiz you. Like, when we even practice, he'll be like, I'll run a play and come back. He'll be, what's the down and distance was? I'm like, it was 31. Okay, all right. So he try to put it in the mind game. Like, everything's like game rep, because when we get to the game, that we'll know. Because it was one play this year that it was second down, and I thought it was third, and I came off the field. And it goes back to, you got to be locked in, Could have got a flag for that because you can't go out of bounds and come back in, but the ref didn't catch it. So thank God,
got away with it.
That one,
Yeah, and you've only got a few games left.
Yeah.
With Tulane. I'm sure it's going to get emotional as you guys get closer and closer to the end, but sounds like it won't be the end of just the regular season. You got an opportunity to potentially be back in that conference championship. And then, of course, you guys are bowl eligible. Be looking forward to seeing where you guys end up. 23rd right now in the college football playoff rankings, which is it's a huge deal for Tulane for you guys to be in that category and continue to potentially move up as the season goes on. But good luck this weekend, and let them know why they should be going to this Tulsa-Tulane game at Yolma Stadium.
Yeah. Hopefully to see y'all there, man. If y'all ain't get y'all tickets, go to TulaneTix.com and get it right now. We play at 11 o'clock Saturday.
Punt returner, wide receiver, salesman. Mr. Do It All, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Do It All.
Everything.
All right.
Good luck this weekend, man.
Thanks, Jaquan.